And next up at UFC Fight Night, Strickland taking on Hernandez. We've got Geoff Neal taking on Uros, Medic. And if you're enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button as Carlos tells you who he's got in this matchup.
I'm going to take Geoff Neal in this one. Defensively, he's very sound. He doesn't really make many mistakes. He's very boxing heavy. He's got very good straights. At points, he likes to headhunt. I do like when he goes to the body, but that's one thing I don't like is when he starts to headhunt. At times, he mixes up good angles, slick snapping, straight left. But the one thing is he doesn't have a sense of urgency. And that's what Medic kind of brings to the table is he's long, he's rangy, but he also likes to throw more in combination. And when he throws more in combination, he likes to come forward. And if you're going to come forward against a guy like Geoff Neal, he's going to tag you, and he's going to tag you with that straight left. And that's going to change the outcome of the fight. And I think that Geoff Neal's defense, plus the fact that he could take a shot pretty well, is going to get him through some of Medic's shots. I think Medic is probably a good striker. I don't think he's that strong to rock Neal right off the bat, with one shot. But I do think that he's going to have a hard time getting a clean shot on him. And I don't see this fight going to the ground at all. But if Medic tries to take him down, Neal's not going to go down. Neal can get back up. And I just feel it's probably going to be a stoppage, and I think Neal's going to get this win that he pretty much needs, and it's going to be that straight left again, right down the middle.
Yeah, great breakdown from Carlos. To be honest, he took the words right out of my mouth, so you're about to hear pretty much the same breakdown, except with a British accent. So
where's the lamb sauce?
I pretty much see it the exact same way. When you watch tape on Medic, I think he likes to crash into the pocket, great kickboxing, good finisher, a guy that's obviously struggled with the ground game. We're not going to see any of that here. I think both guys are going to play this one out on the feet. Obviously, Hands of Steel Neal, for a nickname, is pretty much standing true. Very, very tight, high guard, nice kicks, and really does a good job of being able to dart in and out of range. Range management is a big key here, I think, in this matchup. Medic, he tends to crash into the pocket and then end combinations with kicks. He has a very nice, snappy high kick that he tends to catch people with. But Neal's, defensively sound most of the time. His hands are almost glued to the top of his head, realistically. He has that kind of, I don't want to say Mike Tyson, because I think it's an insult to Mike Tyson, but very, very high guard where he's moving in and out. And I think that in itself, and along with the range management here, is going to help him to be able to stay defensively sound against Medic's kicks. And I think when it comes to the hands, I think Neal is going to have a much, much better time here finding the target of Medic. And I think Neal's chin is also a little bit better out of the two as well. I think Medic has shown in in his UFC tendency that he can get cracked, but he can also crack you. And I think with a guy like Neal, he's just going to be able to wait for Medic's impatient attack. He's going to come in, he's going to dart in, trying to be able to find that knockout, and ultimately Neal's going to counter him and find the knockout himself. I think as well, like Carlos mentioned, I said earlier in one of the breakdowns that, a desperate fighter is obviously a dangerous fighter, and a guy in Geoff Neal, 35 years old, lost 3 of his last 4, fighting in his home state as well, obviously, of Texas. He's going to have the crowd behind him. I think this is a good matchup. A step down in competition as well. I know Medic is obviously coming off of 2 knockout wins, but Geoff Neal here, fighting the creme de la creme in this division. Carlos Prates, no slouch. You've got a guy in Ian Gary who's obviously right up there. Shavkat Rakhmonov, they're his 3 losses. There's no shame in losing to any of those guys. I think this is a step down in competition that Neal ultimately needs at this point in his career, and I think he's going to be able to get this one done inside the distance here with the defensive sound boxing that he's got, ultimately timing a shot down the middle as Medic crouches in the pocket carelessly.